Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena where we are playing a dinosaur tribal deck featuring Sarkhan's why do I want to say Sarkhan's Unsealing? Sarkhan's Unsealing. And God, may the force be with us. The deck can be amazing. The deck can be a chupacabra fest, but it is, in all things, it is a deck. Of all the decks I've ever seen, this is the most recent. All right. Maybe that joke will get old for me someday. Shout out to Andre J, who made a request on this a while back as one of my Twitch subscribers. Got me playing this ridiculous thing. Let's reveal that we have a Swordtooth. Let's go get more forests. I learned this the hard way. You only need one mountain in the deck. All you play with it is Sarkhan's Unsealing. If you have a mountain, get forests with every other search that you have. Every single one. Because someday you may want to play Gigantosaurus and Ghalta on the same turn. On a completely empty board, I might add. Alright? Let's do this thing. No! No! Oh, I got... burns me up a little. So my opponent held up their Surveil 2, but then used a counter spell. They gave up 2 damage for it, and they're going to keep giving up damage for it. You got something for the Gigantosaurus? Just bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the only way we roll. That's the only way this deck rolls. Entrancing Melody. Good luck getting the mana to get my stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. Here's what I got for you. We want to play this, though, when our opponent has mana up. But resolving these, 6, 7, 8, doesn't do it. Yeah, we better start the Carnage. If my opponent hits their land drops, maybe their Thief of Sanity can get a Carnage Tyrant to face my Carnage Tyrant in a Carnage Carnage Tyrant face-off. A Fountain of Renewal. I wonder what life gain combo my opponent built into their deck, or if that's just filling space and they're playing a newish deck. I don't know. They've got their Sinister Sabotages. And they got their Thief of Sanity. And they're making choices. Life's full of choices. Some of them are hard. This looks so much like the Boss Nazgul. So much Lord of the Rings-ish art these days. Not taking the Ghalta. Oh, taking the Commune. It's probably just going to get land. If you got a dinosaur with that, I would be very impressed. Like Tetsamok or something, and you're like, All right. Swordtooth. Ghalta. Playing around Syncopate. We'll save the elves for last. What you got? Bam! Llanowar. I don't think holding things in our hand is a good call. I think that our opponent is very likely to have Thought Erasure. It just has Surveil on it and is blue and black, so it sort of gets itself into these decks. Oh yeah, you better draw a card. Make it a good one. Alrighty. Scoop and score. Carnage Tyrant says sabotage this. Let's have a look at this pile of stats. We sort of did, but we'll give the official gloss over. So, yes, we do some elves, some Thunderherd Migration, some Gift of Paradise, and some Wayward Swordtooths to get our ramp on. I said there was no place for this outside of that Experimental Frenzy deck. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe an Experimental Frenzy should be in this deck. Oh, that sounds so fun. And then play 6 dinosaurs off it. I really want to. I'll regret it, though. Anyway, we're not going to change the deck right this second for Experimental Frenzy, as much as I may want to. The big thing with Swordtooth is that for only 3 mana, it triggers the Unsealing. So it's both a play you can make earlier, or on turn 2 off the Elf, or play later and get the Unsealing trigger. Same with the Territorial Allosaurus. Gigantosaurus, of course, is a big Unsealing trigger. So is Carnage Tyrant, so is Ghalta. That's about it. Ghalta isn't like... You don't stick the Ghalta off of a pile of creatures like in other decks. In this deck, you stick the Ghalta off one creature. It's pretty normal to go like Territorial Allosaurus or Gigantosaurus and then have enough stats to play your Ghalta the next turn. Same with Carnage Tyrant. So it just has to be the last critter out. But you don't have to have 100 creatures on the battlefield. You just need one good one. This deck hates Ravenous Chupacabra with a passion, but that's why we're at 4 Carnage Tyrants and only 3 of the other giant dinos. Because opponents regurgitating Chupas are really annoying. I mean, we don't have an Unsealing, and it's basically 6 mana in a dino, but whatever. If we're gonna get flooded, let's do it proper. If you were trying to be competitive, you might mulligan this. I would not run a Tribal Times deck in competitive unless it were a very special case. But that is, of course, up to you, the viewer, to decide what you wish to rumble with. There's also a lot of rare dinosaurs that I'm not including, like Ripjaw Raptor and Regisaur Alpha. Those are all fine creatures that could definitely fit in the deck and can take the spot of several other cards in the deck. I have no problem with that. To be completely honest, those cards, I played with them so much back in Ixalan, I didn't feel like crafting them for this deck. I wanted to play even bigger, even crazier. I could play the Allosaurus, but then I don't have the ramps. If I have the ramps, we go from 4 to 5 to 6, which would still be not casting the kicker side. So I'm gonna play the Allosaurus now. And we'll see how our opponent deals with a giant creature. They do have white, so they might have cards like Justice Strike or Luminous Bonds even. I've been seeing out of a lot of the early versions. Oh, we're just going to put a Maniacal Rage on our Menace creature. That's how we roll. Okay. I didn't understand the rules of engagement. Let's go get another land. Oh, shuffle away a Carnage Tyrant from the top of the deck. Sadness. Our opponent touching manas. Thinkings. Instigator. More little dorks. Well, those can absorb hits from the Allosaurus while the Trailblazer does its work. That's not cool. Down to 12. Anything else? No. So I've got this weird feeling that if I hold my Territorial Allosaurus back to block, that my opponent will Lightning Strike the Llanowar Elves and then I cannot block. But I feel like I have to try since I'm getting flooded and losing the race. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but kind of saw it coming. All I need to do is draw one of my creatures instead of all this land. All this land. Oh my. Bold. Nom! Alright, another Territorial Allosaurus would be great. Just brought Lava Coil as well. For the ultimate Gitches. Well, we're not technically dead. Now we just have to draw something huge that is not a Ghalta, as we have no board. But I expect our opponent just to Lightning Strike us or something. They've had everything perfectly so far. Yeah, that's a perfect draw. Good job. Let's see if they figure out how to attack with everything, or if the War Boss thing messes them up. Nope. Nope. There. Well done. Well done. Woo! Yay for flooding. Let's make some on-the-fly changes, shall we? I actually, believe it or not, with 24 lands and all these ramp cards, got mana screwed multiple times before going on, so I upped the land count. And then I had a few good games, and then this happened. And now I've got a few bad games. Small sample size, I know. But something I think I should have just done to begin with. Cut more lands. Play more Impulse. There. Let's see if we get flooded or screwed this time. We just went down to 20 lands. Let's see if we can draw 8 of them in a row again. And by 8 in a row, I mean going back to the last game as well. Which is probably still an exaggeration if I actually bothered to check. I'm human. What can I say? Are we going to be punished? It could be. We will try to be punished. 2 Ghaltas is sad, but the Carnage Tyrant, if we get to 6, can get us there. And this is kind of like 4 lands if, you know, the Fate puts a land in our top 3 this time. So let's see what happens. You know, I guess I'll go play with the tower some more. Zap, 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 zap. Elf! The green guru. Well, I'm about to show you some green. I got some green like you never seen. You have not seen beef like this. All right. Think it through. So Thunderherd Migration and then probably a Commune. But if we want to hit a land, which I think is our top priority here, we should Commune first. Land! Oh my gosh, 3 Unsealings? Will we ever cast Sarkhan's Unsealing in our Sarkhan's Unsealing video? The world may never know. I'll show the Ghalta. So the opponent, like, our opponent might be playing counter magic, and I don't want them to plan around the Carnage Tyrant. I definitely don't want them to thought erase the Carnage Tyrant. So we have a red source, so always get more green. Always get more green. It's raining notions. Notion rain, notion rain. Woo! Notion rain, notion rain. All right. Well, more Tyrant, which makes us thought erasure proof, which is great. Let's lead with an Impulse. And we get a Swordtooth, which, not perfect, but another elf can help us cast our Tyrant. So, as much as I like the Swordtooth, I don't want to risk not being able to Tyrant next turn. So I'll grab another elf. Our opponent hasn't done anything about these yet. If they have play a Ritual Soot on some elves, I think that is right up our alley. But it would also be pretty tragic. Alright, tap land is not Ritual of Soot. Glowspore Shaman. Interesting Sultai pile with a Rupture Spire and a Memorial to Folly and a Vivian Reed hitting the bin. What an interesting concoction. Let's see if they're ready for just Mythic Dino. They have chosen a Memorial to Folly. They want to grind. I do not want grinding. I want you dead. Meet my plan. It's on the battlefield. Now, the good news might be that if they have another Glowspore, they only need 2 to stop a Carnage Tyrant because of the nice high 3 power. So they go for Mirror Image, and they do make a Glowspore, number 2. How about them apples? Fine Finality, Stitchered Supplier. Another Territorial Allosaurus. I think that I could play like Ghalta Territorial Allosaurus, but I would expect it to die to a Chupacabra. So I'm going to play Carnage Tyrant number 2 instead. Make the opponent go through this again. They'll double block and still take 5 and have to rebuild this board once again to face Carnage Tyrant's little sister here. More like identical twin. I really want to know what the card is that's either 1 green or 1 black instant speed that has my opponent holding their priority at every turn. They could have full control mode on, but I find that's pretty rare with new-ish players, and this feels like a new-ish deck. I'm just really curious. Like, the curiosity is absolutely tilting me. Unless they just set stops on every phase, because they're one of those players who likes to think at strange phases of the game. There's a whole thing about that, though. Some pros swear by that. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, like when to think to not give your opponent information. I think there's an article about it. Search like MTG, when to think. I think at a really high level that matters. I think at Magic Arena there is absolutely no place where that matters. But some people may believe in building good habits, and there you go. So we've got Connive Concoct, Surveilling, and getting back another Glowspore Shaman. And I think what we'll do here, I want to play this and this. I don't necessarily want to get a land with my Commune, though, so I'll just play both of these after attacking with the Carnage. Get him. Here's an Allosaurus. Here's a Ghalta. What you got? A hostage taker. On the Ghalta? You did it. Too bad they don't have enough power to play that Ghalta. It still needs 7 more mana. And the turn has been passed. You have enough? Yeah, we do. So if I attack like this, so I think what I'm going to try, this doesn't play around. I guess there could still be a cast down, but I don't kick a Territorial Allosaurus every day. So I'm going to kick one today. And I normally don't believe in cruelty to animals. I don't kick my dog, for example. But I will kick this Allosaurus. Come back, Ghalta. Green-red never forgets. Necrotic Wound. That's the card. Okay, there you go. We found it, everybody. Necrotic Wound was the card. Unfortunate our opponent couldn't get more creatures in their graveyard. That could have been a really good play earlier on. I'm surprised they didn't kill a Llanowar Elf now, in hindsight. I probably would have killed an elf as soon as I could. Let's do another. This stream brought to you, this isn't a stream, this video brought to you by the power of caffeine. I stayed up till about 3 in the morning, which isn't too weird for me, playing Magic, working on decks. That's pretty reasonable time. This hand is silly. Four Craigs and I draw 3 of them. If I draw a Forest, though, this hand is so good, it's awesome. But anyway, 3 in the morning, playing Magic, not that weird. Went to bed, usually wake up around 9 or 10 and get right back to it. We did it. Today I woke up at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm a freaking, like, that's insane. I haven't done anything like that probably since college. 1:30 in the afternoon. I guess I needed the rest. There was definitely the the night before last, I was working on Magic till 4 or 5 in the morning and got up again at 9. So I was probably making up for that. Anyway, finally, only took 20 minutes of gameplay. We get to throw a Sarkhan's Unsealing on the battlefield. Cross your fingers. Maybe it will stay on the battlefield. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Say goodbye to your things. Oh, yes. There's like, what am I supposed to say? That's just how you do it. It's how you draw it up. That's what you want. Let's hit you for 10. Mission accomplished. And that's game. May all your games go like that one. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you very much for watching this video. I had a good time making it. Thank you to Andre J for requesting a Sarkhan's Unsealing Dinosaurs. And I will see you all in the next video. Good night.